10 মিনিট, এই একটা 17 একটা 27 ব্যাস দেখে নাও দীপা। নিকি এসে গেছে।
Good afternoon,
Yes.
sir. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Camera.
Camera?
See, her camera is on. You should be visible to us. Nikki Gupta, are you still in Dhanbad?
Yes, sir. I'm still in Dhanbad.
Oh. Make yourself visible. We can't see you.
Ma'am,
I can see her.
Ma'am, video is on.
I can see her. She is visible. You have to just
see her. I can see her.
start from your objectives, then metrology, then findings. Okay.
Ma'am, I will
And
start.
finish it in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Within 10 minutes, start with your objectives.
Okay.
Heading, your title slide, then objectives, methodology, then results and discussion. Start.
Okay.
The time starts now.
Okay.
Because other thing is there in your term paper we have seen.
Okay. Okay. Thank
Make
you.
it fast.
Okay, sir. Today I am going to present my topic analysis and evaluation of listed companies in NSE by capital asset pricing model. Though the topic has been given by my guide, but during this lockdown, I find the relevance of this topic. So today I am going to share the relevance of this topic through PowerPoint presentation. I am sharing my screen from. Ma'am, is it visible?
Yeah.
Thank you. The topic is capital asset pricing model. This model is the comparison between expected return and risk, which is inherited in every individual securities as a whole. CAPM model is the extension of Markowitz portfolio theory. In Markowitz portfolio theory, there is only the risk and return about the portfolio thing, but Sharp and Linter introduced the CAPM model by introducing the risk and return for the individual securities also. We can find CAPM by giving the formula expected return is equal to risk-free rate of return plus beta into risk premium. RM minus RF is risk premium, RM is market rate of return, and RF is risk-free rate of return. The assumptions of this model is information is freely and easily available to all the investors, like every single knowledge is already available with the investors. Capital market is not dominated by any individual securities. It means that not a major holder of any security can dominate the market. The third one is investors can transact unlimited amount at the risk-free rate, and there is no tax and transaction cost on the transactions. And the fifth one is investor's choice is based on risk and return of a security. Why this is an assumption? Because investor's choice is not in reality based on risk and return only. There are several factors also, but in this model it is an assumption. And the last one is all assets are marketable and divisible. The objectives of this study are to verify the CAPM model and to examine if this model is valid for the Indian stock market. Why I am giving this objective? Because there are so many models are there, like multi-factor model, single factor model, APT model. But why I have chose a CAPM model? And second one is to test whether CAPM can examine risk and return analysis. Third one is to know whether beta can measure expected return, because beta is the main element of this model. So I want to know that whether beta can measure. And the fourth one is to analyze whether time series analysis and regression analysis is suitable test for the validity and accuracy of this model. I have explained each term one by one, but I will not explain in a deeply. Like expected return, it is the required rate of return from the securities. Risk-free return is determined by the government and Reserve Bank of India which I have taken on the basis of 30th September 2020 in my study. Beta is the risk measuring factor of investors. It measures the volatility of the securities. So, if beta is equal to 1, it indicates market risk only. But if beta is greater than 1, it indicates stock is more risky from the market, means it is more volatile. And if beta is less than 1, it means stock is less risky from the market, that is, it is less volatile. I have my data collection from financial sources from the internet. Here I have given 6 months data only because it is the term paper. I have taken 5 companies: Reliance Limited, Infibim, TCS, HDFC, Airtel. All are listed in NSE. So RI is return from individual securities. RM is market return from the as a whole. RF is risk-free rate of return. Beta is risk, which is systematic risk. And CAPM is expected rate of return, which is required rate of return. And it is also called cost of equity. So in that formula, I have put everything in the Excel sheet, and I determined from the formula the CAPM digit. Analysis from my study is Infabim. We can see that Infabim has the highest beta, that is 1.94, and it has also the highest return also, that is 4.45. From among all the companies, all the 5 companies, it has maximum beta and maximum expected rate of return. And we can see that TCS has negative beta, so it has the lowest expected return also. So we can analyze that since risk free rate of return is solely like determined by the government, so it has no impact for determining expected rate of return because it is same for all the companies. And market rate of return is calculated as an average of all the securities, so it has no effect on expected return because market return is portfolio return, so it has no impact on individual securities. And price of the individual securities is significant as it is used to calculate beta. When we calculate beta, we need price, so that we have to collect the data for price also. I have shown the relationship between risk and expected return through a line diagram. Data is based on 6 months data only. We can see that when like green line is beta line and expected return is the blue one, where we can see that when beta is increasing, expected return is also increasing, and when beta is falling down, expected return is also falling down, and so on. So we can see that there is a positive relationship between beta and return. So I have mentioned these things in my findings of the study, that beta is the systematic return, systematic risk. Systematic risk is inherent to every portfolio as a whole because it is non-diversifiable. So it is closely related with the past returns, and it is very difficult to differentiate its impact while estimating expected return. The relationship I have mentioned this earlier, the relationship is positively sloped between the past return and beta. So there is a linear relationship. Third one is there is a problem with beta, that beta is not stable throughout the time because it is risk. So risk is not fixed due to several macroeconomic factors. So since beta is derived from the past data, beta lead to a statistical error because we want to know the expected return from the securities, and beta is derived from the past data. So there is an statistical error between them. The fourth one is a study cannot solely depend on the risk-free rate of return of any government securities like treasury bill and market return. Like before, I have mentioned that risk-free return is given by the government, but it is not solely not randomly given by the government. It is also calculated on certain terms. I want to conclude my study that it is very clear from both the assumptions and conclusions that it has no practical application in the real world. because CAPM model, like I have said earlier, that beta is derived from the past data, and it cannot be accurately conclude the expected return. So it has no practical application in the real world. Second one is the assumption was information are easily and quickly available to all the investors in the free market, but in reality it is not possible that all the informations are available to every single individual. It is not possible. So this assumption is not valid in the real world. Third one is Pharma and French says that CAPM model is not completely rejected, but there is little acceptance of the theory that higher risk is associated with higher return. CAPM model only explains that if risk is higher, return is higher. We all knows that higher the risk, higher will be the return. So this model only says this, only proves these things only. Otherwise, there are several factors which is not be compensated by CAPM model. The fourth and last one is the use of sharp CAPM is famous for its simplicity and easy application. If we want to know the, if we want to study the multi-factor model and single factor model or any other factor models, we have to know about the basics of the expected return or risk and return. So we study CAPM model as a basic or fundamental research, but it is not avoid its empirical problem, but it has so many empirical problem we can't avoid. Limitations of the study is, number one, due to time constraint, the data referred in the study is a period of 6 months. That's why I've taken the data only for 6 months, last 6 months, from 1st April 2020 to 30 September 2020. The data is used in this study is of last 6 months. There are more volatile. I have taken the data for the period of April to September, which is, we know that it is the pandemic time of the for the whole world. So the beta and market both are very volatile. This study does not consider any external factor. There are so many macroeconomic factor, political factor, financial factor, but this study didn't mention any of the factor because it is based on CAPM model. CAPM model does not consider any external factor. So, and I didn't take any variables which affect risk, which I have mentioned earlier. This study considers only theoretical approach and equations of CAPM model. This study does not include any SPSS or data or any relevant tests. Recommendations for my study is, the study recommend that instead of using short-term period data, the companies should use long-term data for at least 5 years, which may turn its negative return. Like we have seen earlier that TCS has a negative return. This was, that was only based on the pandemic period. We can't conclude that TCS always gives the negative returns to its investors, but so that we can, so that we can, so that we can take the data for 5 years. Second one is the study recommend to perform the SPSS test for the conclusive evidence. The third one is the study recommends that the result obtained in this paper is accurate in relation to expected return and finding of beta value. I have used the data from the financial sources, so the calculation and expected return is accurate, that I can say. The further objective is to use weighted average cost of capital, which is cost of capital, which involves market expectation. Without market expectation, it is vague to estimate market return. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
So, Nikki, let me ask you a basic book knowledge question. You have done your study well. I know, because I've seen. But there are three class of financial asset pricing models. There are three broad classifications. One is the mean variance approach, the other is the state preference approach, and the third is the arbitrage pricing approach. Which approach does the CAPM fall under?
Sir,
Which
arbitrage
approach?
pricing model, APT.
No, it falls under mean variance approach. Both Markowitz portfolio theory as well as the CAPM, because these are very old. It was constructed in the 1960s. It was discovered in the 1960s.
Yes, sir.
So CAPM is almost, it is the second oldest genre of financial model, asset pricing models. The oldest being the Harry Markowitz portfolio approach.
Yes, sir.
So this is what you have done, is you have tested the mean variance approach with your data, which is good, and you have used the CAPM model, which makes sense.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Shoma Madam, Agarwal sir, well, Professor Agarwal, any other questions?
No, I don't have any.
No, I was just calling Nikki. I was thinking, because you know that there are a lot of limitation in CAPM model, but still you have selected this. What is the reason?
Sir,
Because this is not practical.
sir, I have mentioned this, that if
And
someone,
you have mentioned that, but then you would have taken the other model, because
Yes,
a lot
sir,
of
because-
models are there.
yes, sir, because if one wants to study the multi-factor model and APT model, they can't study it from the first time. If someone is studying for the first time, he or she should understand the basics of the model, basics of the market. So CAPM model can act as a fundamental or basic research if someone is doing it for the first time. If I will study multi-factor,
But simultaneously, you would have taken one more model. So that is just give that, because this is for initial understanding. Then to draw some conclusive result,
so
you can use the other. Have you used?
Sorry,
Yeah.
sir.
In dissertation, have you taken that for your final? This is for pilot.
Professor Agarwal, since I have supervised her, let me just help her out. The test of the CAPM with the new data which she has taken, Indian data, is a big enough research by itself. It is a very, very useful research, and CAPM is still one of the most popular models. So if she can do that well for her dissertation, she will do well. I mean, I'm not criticizing her, but I just wanted to point out that if you don't index your model to a specific line of thinking, then people will say, someone who is not a specialist in finance will say, well, in every field of science, there are ideologies. Like there is Einstein's ideology, there is Newton's ideology. How come you are doing a research where there is no ideology? So that's why I just wanted her to.
Yeah, so it's a good, but only I was thinking maybe for dissertation.
No,
this can be,
it's good according to my criterion. She has replicated a study well, and that is what I
that's
think.
good.
Thank
I
you,
have
sir.
been taught that.
Yeah, that is there, no doubt about that. Yeah.
Yes.
You can leave.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you, sir.
You leave. We'll leave the meeting. You shut down your computer or
दीदी बेस्ट हुआ क्या बोले